What's up, everybody? How you doing? This is Hud Zero, the old school gamer, and welcome to my show, Gamers Play, where all the gamers play. How you doing? This is my 6th episode of Gamers Play, and boy, oh boy, did we have a day. Well, if you're just coming to join my channel, why don't you go ahead and sit back and relax and enjoy a nice cup of cocoa. Let's get right into this. Well, as you all know about the Microsoft ABK deal, it's been going on for, my gosh, it's been about, 8 months, 9 months since last year. And man, it hasn't been that long. Ever since the merger, and of course we had a couple of players that have been against the deal. Well, actually only a few, but the one that was shouting the loudest, the little kid in the back room, Sony, was not too keen on the deal. Number one, because Activision Blizzard King is of course the creators of an awesome game called Call of Duty. Everyone knows that. And Sony doesn't like the pie to be touched, so to speak. The pie, they've been eating, all the pie, and they've been like leaving a couple of slices to the side. And they don't like everyone eating on that pie. But it seems like the Microsoft decided to raid their fridge, and said, hey, you know what? That pie looks pretty good, but I want to share amongst my friends. Sony's like, no, I don't want to share my pie, man. I don't want to share my pie. It's too good. It's too darn good, I mean, we get extra strawberries, we get extra blueberries, we get extra, we get extra crust. And we get all the fixings, man. It tastes too damn good. And Microsoft's like, well, but we can make that pie better, But it's also nice to share that pie, that pie looks delicious. I mean, but we can make it more enticing. We can make it more subtle. Some more, give them more robust. We can add extra sprinkles. And it's even better. That everyone can be able to taste that pie more often. But Sony's like, no, hey, but we have a special baker. We have a deal with the baker. The baker actually bakes it early in the morning, and we get the pans, and we get the special pans, we get the special ingredients, then you get added ingredients, and on top of that, they get better, they get more incentive. Microsoft's nah, but CMA, who's the guy on the side, they're like, hey, Microsoft, we don't like, we didn't like that idea. We feel like you were gonna take that pie and you're gonna run with it, and then Sony is not gonna have any pie at all. You're just gonna leave them crumbs, and and it's gonna make the pie taste bland. Less blueberries, and the less sugar. It's gonna be, they're gonna, you're gonna get the crusty stuff. That's burnt crust. We don't want that. But Microsoft's like, well, we'll show you. So what happens is they get the shiny pans, and we say, hey, hey, Nintendo. We're gonna give you some pie. He's like, oh, well, we never had that kind of pie in our shop. It'd be nice to get some of that pie. And then of course, And Microsoft's like, hey, NVIDIA, you want some pie too, don't you? He's like, yeah, we would love some pie. It'd be great to have some pie in our store. Why not? And the people get to rent a booth, and they can enjoy the pie themselves, and why not? And then of course they said, hey, how about you? What was that team in UK? Hey, we want some pie too, don't you? I mean, you're just giving pies left and right. He said, hey, guess what? We'll give you the pies for about 10 years. Just sign the contract and everything. And then once we actually get ownership of that pie, you could be able to get some pie. And then, of course, Microsoft, not too greedy, they said, hey, guess what? Sony, if we actually have ownership of that pie, you will be able to get some of that pie for 10 years too. But you know what's even better? We will allow you to be able to use that pie any way you want, and then you can actually be able to, what you have a rental service or streaming. You could be able to use that pie and give it to the ones who actually use it. Why not? So he's like, no, and of course, Jim Ryan, who is the head baker, of course, he's one of the head bakers, and he's like, but if we don't like that. We don't like that. We just feel like you're not allowed. We don't want you to bake any of that pie. We don't want you to have ownership of that pie at all. No, we don't want you to have that pie. We'd rather just, block you, just shut the doors on you, and just say, you know what, Microsoft, you're not getting any of that pie. Isn't that nice? Well, CMA, well, in their great wisdom, they at first, they didn't have any knowledge about the baking industry, when it comes to the pie. And of course, they didn't have any idea. But once they started finding out and the ins and outs, and finding out that Sony was doing a little backdoor deals and everything, and actually hiding recipes, and actually getting all these these extra ingredients and everything, through contracts and stuff like that, and saying, hey, you know what, our pie is better. But the thing is that they're holding off all the other ingredients to all these other competitors. They're storing all the spices. They're storing the spices now. Well, CMA, it's like, well, you know what? Now that we kind of see the light, I think Microsoft, is not doing any harm by having ownership of this pie. And thus, when it comes down to this, if you have liked that story, why don't you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, hit that bell, and so you can actually see some greedy ingredients showing up on this channel. So, but first, let's talk to a couple of things about our sponsor. That's right, Gamer Grind Coffee for gamers. Why don't you go ahead and give it a gander and use my code HUD0 for a nice 10% discount on all of your purchases. You can choose a lot of light and dark brews, delicious and very, very robust. So try Gamer Grind today. So, let's talk about this ABK Microsoft deal. Turns out the CMA said, hey, you know what? There is no harm whatsoever with this deal. And let's get into the quotes here. I mean, this is a lot of people were very salty today. I've seen more. I have never seen so much salt since the Himalayas. Better yet, I didn't. The Great Salt Deserts in Utah. So let's get into ABK deal. Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So shout out to a lot of people who actually have been following this. It's been actually very awesome seeing this. So as it says here, the CMA has narrowed the scope of the concerns in the Microsoft Activision review. The CMA has today issued updated provisional findings in its assessment of the Microsoft proposed acquisition of Activision. So, right now, there's actually a few things. There's new evidence provisionally alleviates concerns in the relationship with supply of gaming consoles in the UK. So, they actually took care of that. That means, when it comes down to consoles, basically the merger is not going to harm any of the consoles sales. Previously stated provisional view that deals raises concerns in the cloud gaming unaffected. So it turns out that when it comes to cloud gaming is still in its infancy stages, and there are a lot of players out there in the cloud field that has not yet even gotten their footing yet. And since Microsoft actually is pretty much the flagship when it comes down to that, this actually has no effect whatsoever. And then, of course, it comes down to the investigation, which it continues, or the final report is still due April 26, 2023. So that means it's coming up soon. I mean, this deal is practically done. I mean, once that big hurdle that happened, it actually just shows that, basically what Sony said was fell upon deaf ears. And right now, I don't know, I mean, if you call it glorious, but I call this a win for gamers. Why? Because now that the whole entire industry actually understands what's going on in the gaming landscape and how young the gaming landscape actually is. Believe it or not, gaming and when it comes down to next generation, when it comes to cloud streaming, it's all still small potatoes. It's still a very, very small market. Even though you have like millions of players, we're not talking about the entire world. We're talking about a small portion of the gaming world. Even though gaming is actually one of the biggest entertainment industries in the world, right next to movies and music and television. This is actually pretty small, and forgive the blurriness in the screen right now. I have no idea what's going on. It was a little bit sharper earlier, but you know what? I digress. But when it comes down to this, further in, it says that the CMA has received a significant amount of new evidence in response to its original provisional findings. Having considered this new evidence carefully together with the wide range of information gathered before those provisional findings were issued, the CMA Inquiry Group has updated his provisional findings and reached the provisional conclusion that overall this transaction will not, I repeat, will not result in a substantial lessening of competition in relation to console gaming in the UK. Now, I feel that everyone has been having a little bit of a hissy fit when it boils down to all this information. Why? I have no idea. It's really sad. But I think that everyone has to, realize that the gaming industry right now, in its landscape, I mean, especially with a merger this big, I mean, you talk about a $68.7 billion industry. I mean, a huge industry right now, and because of that, you're having a company like Microsoft, who has actually been a friend of the entire industry as a whole, and it really feels, I feel like that when it boils down to the this merger of this sort, and Microsoft has been very forthcoming when it comes down to it. I mean, they are willing to share. They're looking at billions of game players. They're looking for, I think it was at the 3 billion gamers out there to actually play, these games, and they want to be able to share these games on all the consoles that not all the consoles, but pretty much in the more places to play. They want to give you more choices, more options to play. Your PC, your mobile phone, the console, streaming services. These are the things that are going, that you see, that you know offhand, that are what Microsoft is going after. They don't want you to just rely on console. They don't want you to just rely on a mobile phone. They don't want you to just sit in front of a TV. They want you to be able to play their games everywhere. Now, everyone's actually kind of confusing this and saying, okay, well, why not just have your games on PlayStation? It doesn't really work like that. I mean, if you think about it, and I feel this is actually true, come on, there's got to be a give and take. Sony does not have it doesn't give anybody the option to really play anything anywhere, really, because they actually don't only give you an opportunity to play on their console and their ecosystem, which is actually mostly console. And when it comes down to PC, they've really just pretty much in its infancy stages when it comes out of PC. They just, like, about a couple of years ago, they actually started putting their games onto PC, and it's actually the older titles, not the newer titles. I mean, we were talking about like God of War 2008. We're talking about Horizon Zero Dawn. We have they're going to be, so eventually they're going to get the Gran Turismo onto PC. Hopefully, I don't know when that's going to happen. The Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man, and Miles Morales is actually on PC. The Ratchet and Clank supposedly is going to be coming on PC very soon. It hasn't yet. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So when it comes down to Microsoft actually having ownership of this ABK deal, I think is actually a good idea. So now they actually have the option and they have the resources to be able to spread their games practically anywhere they want, and it gives ABK more access to more funding without the restrictions, and Call of Duty will be better for it. So you're looking at better, more funding for a better story. Multiplayer is going to be better. You're going to have, when it boils down to the games, like for instance, the 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 Microsoft, when it comes to Microsoft and their uh the unions that they're actually going to be forming, it gives the workers more confidence in their workspace. I mean, and also they can finally get Bobby Kotick out of his position. Give him his golden parachute, whatever it is, and get him out of there. And then finally get somebody, like Lilu Chang, and in there, and she could be able to take over. She's fiery. Oh my gosh. Man, whoo-wee. She let me tell you something. You know talking about spice? Let me tell you something. Being the COO of Activision Blizzard, man, she is a force to be reckoned with. And she was very vocal, and she had no pushback at all. I mean, she did not pull back, not one bit. She had bullets in the chamber, and she had an arsenal in her back pocket. So, but man, I would like her to take over, or and to be able to right that ship, and morale will get better. And of course, you get technologies that they could be able to work with. Can you imagine? They could be able to use IDE software, and they could be able to use the engines and get their secrets, and then Ninja Theory with their meta what's it called, the metahuman technology with the facial animations. Did you see that? Let's digress a little bit. I want to digress a little bit. I have to. That demo, that amazing demo that that Ninja Theory showing the facial animation for their new for Senwa's Sacrifice that's coming out very, very soon. Hopefully very soon. It makes me excited. When they showed that demo at the GMA, was it GMA? No, it was the GDC. I'm sorry. And when they showed it at the GDC, they showed the animation, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I say to myself, I say, I think we have a very promising future on our hands. And this is why I feel like the pandemic, actually did slow things down just a tad bit. But it didn't put the brakes on anything. No, it didn't. It just slowed things down to a crawl. So now we have the opportunity to actually see the fruits of their labor. Now we got all of the staff coming back into the offices. Now we actually have people getting back into the studios. You have Ninja Theory getting back into the studios, and they can be able to travel now. They can actually be able to do all their photogrammetry, I think it's called, that for their landscapes again, for the game. I mean, now things are going in full steam. Fable, I mean, everyone's been saying, oh, Fable is going through problems. Well, now they're actually getting their staffing back. They're actually getting their animators back. Their the team over there at Playground Games are actually doing doing their stuff. We haven't seen anything, but I'm actually very excited. They actually kind of showed a few concepts of what they're going to be doing. So I have a feeling that we might see something very, very soon. We don't know if they're going to show anything over at E3. I hope they do, to be honest with you, because we already seen a couple of teasers for Hellblade 2. But we are going to possibly see some more information on Avowed. I mean, we haven't seen not one lick of Avowed yet. There's also State of Decay 3, which we haven't heard not one peep about yet. Then of course you also have what was another game that's going to be coming out very soon? Avowed, State of Decay 3. Am I missing one? Yeah, talk about it in the chat if you actually can give me some heads up on that one. My gosh, I forgot. Oh my gosh. Ooh, has it been that long? There's quite a few games. Oh, that's right. Everwild. Now it's another game that's from the guys from the geniuses at Rare. I don't I don't really understand why we haven't received any information over Twitter or any of the social webs. Any teasers, no leaks, no nothing. I mean, I haven't. I mean, yeah, we've been receiving some. I don't know. I guess we've been receiving some tidbits about what's been you know. But hey, come on now. I really feel that we deserve to see something about the these new games, because I'm actually kind of worried. I really am. But let's talk about some what I expect at E3, because E3 is kind of around the corner right now. And everyone has been talking about because I guess right now, we don't know who is really going to be showing up. I have not heard one peep about who is going to be there. A rumor has it that Arcade 1-Up is going to be there. Rumor also has it that Ubisoft is going to have a big booth there. I've heard that possibly they're going to have a lot of indie stations. I mean, they're going to be a lot of indies that are going to be showing off some stuff. I wish that Microsoft would actually allow ID at Xbox to just kind of let loose. Give them a budget. Give ID at Xbox a budget so they can be able to show off their stuff at the E3 floor. So that way you get to see a lot of up and coming indie games and give them some coverage. I mean, if you're really an advocate for the gaming industry, so to speak, or the up and comers, give them a little bit more of a stage. Not just one place, not just one event. The biggest event in the world, E3. To let them show off their stuff. You're going to make the E3 a little bit more robust, and give somebody some kind of hope, and also get some eyes on some new stuff. I mean, I like to see new, inventive type of games that I may be interested in. I might give it a shot. Dendara and everything actually kind of shocked me. It was actually a very interesting game. There's a couple other games that I actually played recently. I didn't get a chance to play Pentiment yet, but the Pentiment is actually part of my thing. Forgive that noise in the background. That's my wonderful cat, Spike, who likes to be able to knead bread on my carpet. But anyway, I think that gaming on a scale of 1 to 10 right now is about a 7. The reason why I say this is because even though some hot games came out recently, like Wulong and Wild Hearts came out. I think it was Wild Hearts, and let's see what else. Atomic Hearts came out recently, and a few other titles that comes off the mind. And Diablo 4. They actually have an open. Speaking of which, oh my gosh, okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about Diablo 4. I actually finally got to play the opening salvo to Diablo 4, and I'm getting a little bit of the Diablo 3 vibes. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm also not saying that's a good thing. Um, it's it's okay. It's pretty cut and dry. Let's just say that you of course you have to be online to play the game. You have to be online to play the game. And of course you have right now I think I'm actually at a level 6 or level 7. I only played for a little bit. Just wanted to get a taste. The story is very interesting. Right now I'm playing as a as a sorceress. Yeah, don't now. Everyone's like, why are you playing as a sorceress? Why not a barbarian? Well, number one, I don't like melee characters. I never did. Melee characters, especially when it comes to the top-down view, it defeats my purpose. If I remember, I like to play games kind of like Gauntlet. If you're not familiar with games like Gauntlet, my suggestion is play it. Play Gauntlet, but better yet, play Gauntlet Legends. Gauntlet Legends actually is a great top-down action. I can't really say it's an RPG, but you do get an opportunity to level up your characters as you go, and you get more powerful as you go as well. And you go through like multiple gauntlets, so to speak, with all these oncoming enemies, and you have to keep up your health, and you actually have to face a boss after I think 4 stages or something like that. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's a great arcade game, and did have a home version that expanded on the leveling up stages too. So yes, Gauntlet is a must-have. Gauntlet must-have. Try it, play it, love it. Definitely worth it. But anyway, back to Diablo. Diablo 4 is graphically very impressive. Is the lighting, the action, the voice acting. It's pretty much spot on. The only thing that I'm worried about, and I guess it's not really much of a worry. I just feel like the challenge is not quite there yet. I know because I played Diablo 3. Diablo 3, I actually loved it, but then I found out that I got my character so powerful, it seems like I was actually just kind of going through enemies like nothing. Once I started getting legendary weapons and all that stuff, it just felt like it wasn't much of a grind. It felt more like it just felt like I was just going through the motions. And I'm hoping that Diablo 4 would actually increase the that ability to bring up the challenge, so to speak. Even though I like games that kind of give me challenge but not frustration. I want a game to kind of level up with me, so to speak. If I'm starting to level up, I want my enemies to start leveling up. That means when I get further, I want my enemies to actually give me problems. I want a leveling up to happen where the enemies that I fought in the beginning, when I meet them again, they will be challenging to be able to face them again. That is the kind of leveling up that I actually like. Why? It makes you smarter with your fighting, not just swinging your sword or swinging your staff, haphazardly and everything out of it all over the place. I want it so it gives me more an opportunity to play smart gaming. Not button mashing, smart gaming. I want to be able to say, okay, well, I'm gonna have to dodge a little bit more often. I'm gonna have to use my potions a little more smartly. I want to be able to. I think the weapons that I have right now may not be powerful enough, and I need to come back. I need to grind a little bit more. But the thing is that if you grind a little bit more, the boss might become harder. You see what I'm saying? I think that these are gaming. That's the kind of gaming that I really enjoy. So that's enough about Diablo 4. I will be playing a little bit more before the beta is over. I think the beta is actually from the 20 today to the 27th, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 27th. But yeah, it's 24th to the 27th. So if you haven't yet, it's available on the Xbox Store. I don't know about the other stores. I haven't really checked, but the open beta is available right now. So please give it a shot. But when it comes down to Diablo 4 and the ABK deal, and I'm doubling back onto that, yeah, I have a feeling that that when it comes down to this merger, and now that the CMA took that roadblock away, and really is just a little bit of concern about the cloud gaming, because I think they're still learning. It turns out that Sony's not really in the clear when it boils down to anything. It turns out that when it goes down to the lobbying, so to speak, it turns out that that Sony and I believe the Japanese CMA, they've been kind of lobbying, to actually allow Sony to do their dirty practices, so to speak. Right now, oh my goodness, I think that I think that Sony right now is actually going to be having a little bit of an issue when it boils down to that, and also lobbying with the FTC as well. I think that yeah, there's some problems. Let's talk about what's going on with the antitrust. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. It turns out the U.S. Japan bilateral antitrust corporation. There was an agreement that happened years ago. I believe it was actually in October of 1999. Well, it turns out that Japan and Sony have been lobbying, and they've been lobbying, and when it comes down to their dealings with their contracts, and they're blocking contracts, and all these things, and it turns out that they were actually getting away with it. So right now there is a lady at the that's in Washington. Let me see if I can pull her name up. Yeah, she has said a few things about this problem. Yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. So let's get into that. It turns out that, let's see if I can actually find it. I actually see, that's what happens when you do things live. You have it, and then it disappears. I had it, and it just, wow, unbelievable. It just disappeared. Oh my goodness. Well, as soon as I find it, I will talk about it further as I get into Oh yeah. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying before, Sony has been doing some dirty dealings. Well, not really dirty, I guess. I guess it's all business. It really is. Um, and it, what I feel like it's been going on for years, and they blatantly make these deals to lessen competition for them, so they can um, maintain the industry dominance. And they've been doing this for years. This is not the only time that they've been actually doing this. No, it's not the only time. They've been doing this for a very, very long time, but no one's called them out on it. Why? Because it turns out that, well, let's just be real, all the devs right now, all the devs, even the big ones, we're talking about Rockstar, we're talking about 2K, we're talking about Sega, we're talking about Bandai Namco, Capcom, Konami, etc., etc., etc. Even Square Enix, they're afraid to call out Sony on it. Why? Because Sony has threatened them with with fines, and also breach of contract obligations and things of that sort. It's like when they signed their blood on the dotted line, they are not allowed to say anything. They're not allowed to say anything about bad things about Sony. Not at all. I have a feeling that the industry, I mean, it's including that. I'm sorry, it includes Metacritic, it includes IGN, it includes a few others like Eurogamer and the like, and even some, I would say some known content creators have been blacklisted because they said something wrong about Sony. They have. And because they got blacklisted, now they're like, oh well, you know what? Now we're not gonna give you the right to review any of our products. We're not gonna give you any free codes. We're not gonna give you an opportunity to try our new PSVR. We're not gonna allow you to do any of these things because you said X, Y, and Z about our company, and you made us look bad. And actually, it's we don't accept that. So now it turns out that Sony, I don't know why I can't find the darn. This is so frustrating. So frustrating. It showed up, and now I can't find it. Maybe Sony actually decided to blacklist a few of the big boys, and now now they can't find they can't find anything. That's kind of sad. Jeez, I can't believe I can't find it. Oh my goodness gracious. So frustrating, so frustrating. But yeah. So anyway, let's talk about a few things. Let's talk about what about what's going on with PS Plus. I mean, PS Plus seems to be doing fairly well. I mean, they have a few titles that kind of popped up, and they're afraid that I think they're afraid that that Microsoft with Game Pass is actually going to take away, all of their players. Look, I wouldn't put it past Microsoft at all that because of all of the blatant lies and all these things that they said before, I think Microsoft is going to say, "Oh, yeah, we giving you an opportunity. We're gonna give you that 10-year contract." But it turns out that, do you remember the streaming promise that we allowed you to put the game on PS Plus day and date, just like us? Yeah, we're gonna take that off the table. But we're gonna have our on Call of Duty on our Game Pass day and date. Because we can. And I think a lot of people are going. They're not gonna like that. My gosh, I cannot believe I cannot find the article. The article has just disappeared. This is frustrating. What happened? Did somebody actually take it down? Wow. I have a feeling. That they actually did. They actually took it down. Yeah, buddy. Well, okay. Well, I can't find the article. I can't find the article at all. A lot of people actually have been calling out this congresswoman. Yeah. Oh boy, I cannot find it. I just cannot find it. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. So anyway, oh my gosh, what is going on? I can't find it at all. It's missing. Yep. It's funny too. I mean, as soon as this thing actually showed up, I was going to try to stream something else today, but this thing happening with the CMA is just too big for any. Yeah. Oh man. Well, yeah. I mean, let's talk about the FTC. Let's talk about Linda Khan. Linda Khan. Oh my gosh. She is the defender for all the little people in the game, in the industry. Away from big tech, to protect small businesses and the consumers from big tech taking advantage. Well, they looks like they have no case now. It's right now, because of all this going on with the CMA actually taking the fears of competition off the table, and right now it's pretty much a skeleton crew about all this stuff for the provisional agreements and what have you. Well, it seems that the FTC don't have a leg to stand on, and their concerns right now pretty much nil. They have nothing to stand on whatsoever. So I don't know exactly what they're planning on doing when it's time. Once this whole thing goes through in April, what's the FCC going to do? What is their next plan? What are they going to say? I think right now they're going to be laughed out of court. They're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, it sounded good on paper, but you know what? You have nothing to stand on. So you know what? We're just going to dismiss this, and we're going to allow this merger without worrying about concessions or anything like that, because concessions are already take care of in Europe, and right now, as long as Microsoft actually holds their word about having their Call of Duty available on pretty much a lot of different services, we have no concerns. So we're just gonna let this one slide. We're just gonna let this one go, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Let me see if I can find it. I'm actually looking at the Yeah, I might be. I think I might have found it. Oh yes. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, this is gonna be. Oh yeah. Okay. So, anyways, getting back to what I was trying to say about that. Let's see. Ah. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Antitrust lobbying. Yep. Can't seem to find it. Yep. Oh man, nope, that's not it. How frustrating. All right, well, I can't find it. I'll probably save that for another day. But yeah, there's more spice when it boils down to this whole entire deal. Sony right now, the best thing for them to do right now is to take the 10-year deal, the 10-year contract. Just sign the contract. That way you could save face. At least you actually will have access to Call of Duty for the next 10 years. And of course, it's going to be parity with the Xbox versions as well, with as any other version. There is no one is going to have a lesser version of the game. They are going to support all the haptic feedback. They're going to support everything that you guys literally have on your, and better yet, if you guys are looking for VR2, PSVR2 support, they're probably going to allow that too. So, and 10 years is a very long time, okay? And that includes the next few years, because I think your contracts end in 2024. I think you guys should be in good hands. So that means that's 10 years probably after the contract ends. So you get another 10 years on top of that. So that'd be like roughly 12 years, if I think. So just chill. Just don't put your panties in a wad, and relax. Now we can finally get back into gaming. Now we can finally get back into playing some games. And Sony, hey guys, why don't you actually get some of your cool franchises back? And stop worrying about Call of Duty. And stop worrying about having Call of Duty as your flag. No! Call of Duty is not your flagship. Call of Duty is a multi-platform game. Always has, always will be. And because of your arrogance, I'm talking to you, Sony. Because of your arrogance, you made yourselves more of a fool than it really should have been. Games are for everyone. Games should be accessible to everybody. Yes, exclusives are important. It's not the be all end all, but it is important. But you have no right. You have no right whatsoever to actually withhold any games at all, especially for long periods of time. 1 year is enough. Okay, 1 year, fine. 6 months, fine. 2 years? No. 4 years? Absolutely not. Forever? Oh my gosh, you better. See, and this is the problem with when it comes down to your contracts, which actually, believe it or not, are going to be seen in the light very soon. These contracts that you actually have for all these companies and actually threatening. Okay, sorry. Threatening is a little bit of a big word. I'm going to say warnings, or yeah, let's just call them warnings. You warn all these little small companies, the companies that you actually put these contracts with. You say, you know what, we are the number one console in the world. We actually have the biggest market share. We are going to catapult your game into the stratosphere as long as you actually do not put the games on Xbox day and date. B, do not put the game on Game Pass at all. And C, you allow us to have exclusive DLC that is only for the PlayStation players in mind. Now, I feel that, when it comes down to DLC should be, limited for like 6 months. That's fine. What you did with Destiny 2, I say Destiny, yes, was actually unforgivable. You actually put a DLC, and that DLC was exclusive for almost a 2-year duration. And you waited until the end of the freaking season, or better yet, the end of the Destiny, the season, at end of it, right? To say, oh, now you can have it, and then it didn't announce Destiny 2 or something like that. I think it was. Is that fair? No, it's not fair at all. Not at all. So, what you gonna do now? Now that the shoe is on the other foot. Now that Microsoft, the big player, is saying, okay, you know what? You guys just bit off more than you could chew. You have not just poked the bear. You have woken the sleeping giant. Now, Microsoft is showing you and saying, guess what? We've got the big balls and everything, and you don't have rackets enough to smack them. So, let's just say that a game is afoot. Microsoft is actually going to be going through with this deal, whether you like it or not. April 23rd can't get here any sooner. So let's just hope that this actually happens in our favor. But let's do some closing thoughts, and let's do some closing thoughts. How about that? Yeah, let's see. Okay, closing thoughts. Let's talk about the gaming industry in general. As a matter of fact, let's just talk about everything when it comes down to corporations, and let's talk about malls and entertainment in general. Okay, let's just get into it. Pandemic is over. The pandemic is pretty much on its last legs. COVID is right now. Oh, sorry. Did I say the C word? I'm sorry. The C word. Is that's pretty much on its way out. Okay, and it's almost like the common cold now. Not more like a common flu. But let's get into why I feel like us as gamers, need to step up our our enthusiasm when it comes down to gaming in general. We are allowing this so-called console war get a hold of what gives us joy in gaming. Gaming should be a entertainment medium that gives us joy and hope, and almost an escape from the harsh realities that we deal with every single day. It's also a shared experience that should be shared. Everything that we play, everything that we do, we have fun with, should all be part of the gaming industry and as a whole. Now, does that mean that everybody needs to get into the gaming industry? No, no, no. It's not for everyone. Everyone has an opportunity to be able to tell, or to try to share their experiences and their love of gaming, and also talk about what's going on in gaming and give them your thoughts and opinions. Everyone has entitled to that, but no one has a right to tear anybody down just because they don't like the console that you play on. This is a rough time right now because the pandemic really did kind of found the chinks in the armor, so to speak, and it exposed a lot of things that the industry has weaknesses in. But if you may or may not have heard, on this side of the globe, one of my stomping grounds, White Plains, New York. The Galleria, who's been a staple of the entire town, entire city, so to speak, it's closing its doors this coming Friday. Next Friday. Do I feel saddened about it? Yes. I know because this is where I kind of grew up. I gotten my first job there. I worked at Walden Books for a little while. Before Walden Books, I actually worked at a place called Heroes World. It sells comics and comic memorabilia and what have you. It was a small little shop. Then of course I actually got an opportunity to to meet some great people over at Software Etc. before they merged into GameStop. Then GameStop was small little company then before they merged with Babbage's. Once they merged with Babbage's, GameStop merged with FuncoLand, and then FuncoLand merged into them, and they absorbed all those, and then GameStop was actually just one shop. So GameStop was Babbage's, which was also FuncoLand, and it just pretty much took all the best elements of all the stores and made it to one, selling new and used games, so etc. etc. So, and of course, all the great shops and all the clothing and stuff like that. Before that, when I was growing up, they had a movie theater. They closed that one down. In the movie theater, they put a gym in there. There was a hobby shop, and I don't know where the hobby shop is now because the hobby shop had to close. Sad, because that hobby shop was pretty awesome. I was going to do a video on that one, but unfortunately, I never got the opportunity. Yeah, I know this is not really talking about gaming, but I'm talking about how things could happen if we don't if we eliminate the entertainment aspect of what we do. Video games are in fear. I fear that video games could fall into that trap if we think one-dimensionally when it comes down to how we entertain gamers or entertain people. It's a opportunity or an eye-opener when you see malls closing down left and right. I mean, I've never seen malls close down at such a rate. I mean, the Palisades Mall, I've heard that they actually was going into foreclosure because of the pandemic. It has actually put them in a financial debt because they couldn't pay back the loan that they actually received during the pandemic. And we don't know how much longer they can actually hold on. The foreclosure is still going on. I'm hoping that they actually find a buyer, or they have someone to actually give them a big loan to hold the Palisades Mall. People are like, oh, well, we don't like to shop physically. Okay, that's a lie. That's a lie. The city right now, in New York City, people are still want to live shop. Why? Because people like to be entertained. People like to be entertained. People like to actually have fun. The only way for us to have fun is we have to get the interaction is actually what brings people in. The Palisades Mall has that. I mean, they have laser tag. They have not laser tag. I'm sorry. They have mirror. You have the mini golf course. They have bumper cars. They have a virtual roller coaster place. A place called Oh My God. There's a place. There's Dave and Buster's there. There's a climb. There's like a huge jungle gym right in the middle of the mall that you can actually climb up, and I think it's like a Fear Factor. I think it's called like a Fear Factor thing, where you actually just climb all the way. You're supposed to climb all the way down from the top. I think from the top all the way to the bottom, something like that. And they have a bowling alley. I mean, things to do. And I think right now, if the malls could actually just really kind of wake up just once, or the mall owners just wake up just once and just realize that no one just wants to go shop. Okay, we're in a world right now that people just don't want to just shop. People don't have that time or luxury to just shop. Just shopping, is that fun? No. You want things to do. You want places to go. You want to eat, be able to eat. There's a place called Johnny Rockets that, when I remember, the first time they actually opened up over at the Palisades Mall, they had dancing, and like whenever they get a tip or something like that. What was this tip? Guess what? It was a tip. When they get a tip, they actually do a line dance. They get up and they actually look. They had some 50s hits, and they actually dance, and and they had their little top hats on, the thing like the classic one, Johnny Rockets. It was awesome. It was amazing. It was actually interesting. It was entertaining. It was fun. Problem is that they just stopped. Maybe because they changed owners. I don't know. Maybe they found it was actually too corny. Whatever. I don't know. But that stopped. What about Build-A-Bear? Another one. They had this thing where you actually had to say a little quote. Rub the heart and stuff like that, and you say a little quote, and you actually put your heart on it. You put your heart inside the doll and stuff like that. No. Now it's just about the buck. Well, the buck stops here. Oh, yeah, it's the buck. And that's all they do. Stuff your bear. Here you go. Sew it up and everything. Oh, you got your doll. Dress it up and everything. Pay. Sign here, please. Sign here. Sign here. That's it. What's the fun in that? What's the awesomeness in that? Just because you want the dollar, you want to get them out there and everything? Oh, we want the dollar to go faster. No. See, that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with the industry today. Westchester Mall. Let's just go into that too. This is my final thoughts before I leave. I know I'm going off into a tangent and everything, talking about you're supposed to go into games, but I'm getting to that point. Trust me. When it boils down to the Westchester Mall is a fashion mall. It has Nordstrom's, it has Neiman Marcus, it has P.F. Chang's. Pretty much the three flagships of the entire mall. It's a fashion mall. And then, of course, it has a place on the top, where it's like an eatery, whatever it is. A couple of no-name stores, probably stores that are probably known elsewhere, but no one knows who those stores are. The place is practically empty. Do you understand? Empty. What kind of entertainment do you have? Oh, they got big checkers, big chess, out from the corner. They had a nice little fireplace up there. Like a nice, had a little playroom, educational playroom. Boring. Now, don't get me wrong. I do like play checkers and chess once in a while, and it's fun. Why not? It's free. Coffee. Don't get me started with coffee. Gamer Grind Coffee. By the way, I just want to say Gamer Grind Coffee. Absolutely amazing. Please, you can actually use that code HUD0 and get yourself 10% off on all your delicious coffee needs. I had to put that in there. And also, please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I feel like the industry this is the point of confusion. They feel like people are afraid. People are afraid to go out now. No one wants to go out and shop no more. Okay. Lies. All lies. Now, people, you ask me, that's not a lie. Look at the statistics. No one wants to go out. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. The only reason why they didn't want to go out is because, hey, number one, what do you have to grab the customer? What do you have? What grabs the customer besides the people who are going there to shop for their watches or their clothing or their hairdos? What else do they have besides eating? No one wants to eat and shop. Eat and shop is fine. You want to be entertained? What about a place that you can be able to go in there to kind of pass the time away? What are your kids gonna do? Sit in the car? Stare at the ceiling? Watch you swipe your credit card? No. You need things to keep them occupied. Yes, there's a Lego store there. The Lego store is empty when I go in there. I mean, why? Gee, I don't know. Because when you go in there, you have to shop. You don't get to play anything. There's no events. There's nothing to entertain you. There's nothing to keep you engaged. The engagement is actually the problem. Same now, let me double back into gaming. Microsoft. I'm sorry, I hate to call you out, guys, and I love you guys. I really do. I do. But I'm gonna have to kind of rail in on you. All right, so just feel the pain just for a little bit. All right, just feel the pain. All right, I am 150% upset that you guys don't have the nerve to actually go out of your way to entertain or put out more advertisements and or what have you in engagement. You know that every single video that you guys actually put out on Twitter or whatever it is under 5,000 views. Think about that. Under 5,000 views. But yet when I actually look at that PlayStation 1, it has almost 150 to 200,000 views. Sometimes 1.5 million views. Oh, because they have a bigger market share. Bull! Because they have more advertising. They have more things in your face. They have more things that are actually out there that says, hey, guess what? We are here. Take us. You want us? Go to this store. Buy us. What do you got? What do you have? What do you have that actually entertains? Besides the places that people like us, the ones who actually go into the tabloids and stuff like that. What about those who haven't got the opportunity yet? What about those? How about you actually grow a bigger pair? Okay. Find them. And actually, just kind of do a big marketing blitz. Do it once. Spend about $1.52 million. Ain't much. Whatever it is, right? And do a marketing blitz. for 1 month. 1 month. I'm asking you to do it for 1 month. Do it when Starfield is ready to go. I want you guys to do it once. Now, when Starfield comes out, I want you to advertise all the other stuff. And I think, hey, we got this. Okay, Game Pass, yeah, okay. You want to advertise Game Pass? Okay, I get it. Game Pass is nice. I love Game Pass. I really do. It's the best deal in gaming. It really is. But let's talk about what you guys can really do to make us feel like, oh, wow, we got the ultimate product. Game Pass should be like icing on the cake. The console in itself is actually fantastic. It really is. What's on Game Pass? We always wanted to find out. Now that ABK might be going through, and I think we're going to have a more robust catalog of games. I mean, Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, The Dragon, revival of Guitar Hero, most likely, hopefully. Tony Hawk would actually be able to get more titles and stuff like that. Hell, you could even make it a huge open world online game where all the skaters could be able to go out there and do their thing. That would be amazing. But how will they know this? I don't know. Yes, of course, you're going to do open betas and all that stuff. That's fantastic. Diablo with open beta is fantastic. It really is. And everybody knows about it. Why? Because they know how to advertise. They know how to go out there and say, hey, we are Diablo. Maybe you need to hire some of those guys to actually be able to help you guys out, because some of the other games that you actually have out there doesn't have enough push. I don't get it. Maybe you need to start giving them more push. I don't know why Hi-Fi Rush didn't even get that much push. Yeah, granted, it was a great, fantastic game. It still is. Great rhythm game. Amazing game. Had 9s and 10s. Why not do a commercial? One. Just to kind of revival. Why not? Or better yet, and everything, hopefully they should do a sequel. Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can't do a sequel. But maybe you can. And Crackdown, I think Crackdown actually deserves a chance to actually be revived. You can start from the beginning. You don't even have to do Crackdown 3. Why don't you just revert back to Crackdown 1 and kind of do a soft reboot? Just kind of say, hey, you know what? Crackdown 3 was not successful as we wanted it to be. But something about Crackdown 1 actually got people excited. So let's double back and go back to Crackdown 1. Maybe add a couple of doodads and big of whoos or whatever you want to do. I don't know what you want to do. Why not? Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. People like nostalgia. People like things that are good. People like games that are good. People want to have that same experience. They want that good experience. And this is the problem that I have with a lot of games nowadays. They are afraid to take that essence, which is the reason why I'm doubling back to Diablo 4 again one more time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Diablo 4 is giving me a little bit of those Diablo 3 vibes, and I wish they actually kind of double back and actually give more of a Diablo 2. Gritty, hard, dungeon-like, games, little bit, as you go deeper into the levels, the story can still be solid, but the challenge has to be there. It has to be consistent. It has to be up there. When you actually level up, the character should be leveling up too. But yeah, okay, going back to that. But anyway, I know I'm rambling on. I'm trying to pass the time and stuff like that. But what do you think? What do you think? Do you think that I'm just kind of speaking off the cuff? I don't know. Maybe I am. But I think right now the industry has a chance to take this opportunity. They can actually get that lightning in the bottle again, shake it up, build that electricity up, and actually put their best foot forward when it comes to games. Now that the ABK deal is pretty much a done deal, I mean, let's just put it to you real. The ABK deal is going to go through in April. Probably it's going to take us until probably June, maybe July. I would say June, maybe probably about E3. They're going to probably make some kind of announcement and thing. Then probably after the new year, they're going to probably get into their marketing blitz and stuff like that with all the new stuff they're going to do with ABK when it's official. Bobby Kotick is probably going to be on the way out. They're going to announce their new CEO and see where it goes from there. But yeah, gaming right now is still amazing. Right now it's at a 7, like I said before. I just wanted to be pushed up to that 9. I want to feel that 9.5, 10 again. That year where games just kind of was coming out of the woodworks, and I get excited every single time I see a title, and I want to say, oh, I want to try it. Yeah, granted, there's going to be some duds. I know there are. But you know what? Game Pass gives me the opportunity to be able to try them. And then, of course, if you have this streaming, streams like NVIDIA, what's it called again? I think it was GeForce Now or whatever it's called. They have an opportunity to actually get people excited in gaming again. But that's all wrap for tonight. Yes, and thank you for all those who actually decided to see my stream, and also if you're actually going to be seeing it after it's released again, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you can actually know about all my new content. And I'm going to go with some little bit of housekeeping. Next week, my streaming times are going to be changed. I will be on Mondays. Mondays we have called Retroller Mondays. That's right. We talk about everything classic gaming, where I do high score runs. I do one no death, no continue runs, and also some secret endings, and kind of fiddle around with all these games. And then we talk about games that needs revivals, games that are actually I wish would actually get a little bit more playtime, games that are long forgotten. All the good stuff. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and I'm actually gonna try to get some do some unboxings as well. That's going to be happening on that Retro Mondays. Tuesday will be another episode of Gamers Play, where I'm actually going to talk about all the gaming news that pops up on that day. Tuesday used to be it really is an amazing day for news, because it's all the hottest breaking news that usually happens on a Tuesday. Don't ask me why, but maybe because Mondays are but Tuesdays is like wow. Then we got on Fridays, which is actually why I did a stream today, where we actually do what you call a weekly wrap up, and we talk about everything that happens over the week. Yeah, that's about it. Just another thing. I'm trying my best to get myself to E3 this year. Now, like I mentioned before, when I'm talking about the industry, I'm hoping that E3 is going to be a memorable one. E3, because of the pandemic, really put a damper on a lot of things. I mean, of course, Jeff Keighley has his own Summerfest, which I probably will kind of pay attention to. Maybe, actually, I will pay attention to it, because I mean, he's trying to do his own thing. He kind of separated himself from E3 and, of course, the ESA board. And Microsoft, they're part of the ESA board, but unfortunately, they will not be a part of the E3 show floor. Neither will Sony, what Sony never was for the past 5 years. And then, of course, Nintendo. They kind of stopped theirs actually about 3 or 3.5 years ago. So I'm hoping that E3 is going to be very, very good this year. But we'll see. You know, I have high hopes. I have high hopes. You know, arcade went up. You know that because I'm an arcade fiend. You know, I'm the old school gamer, and when it comes to arcade machines, that's where my old stomping grounds actually got started. That is correct, my ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about coin op games that actually count, and what actually that brought up your console gaming to its 11th hour. Think about that. Graphics weren't that great and everything when it came to console gaming. I mean, they weren't really supposed to, but the arcade was the pioneers, and you know, I'm sorry, there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But anyway, it's been fun. I think I had my spill and everything for the past hour. If you have not done so yet, please hit the like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell with the notification, and like I tell all my friends,